This model tugboat was given to me by one of my uncles. I think I was about 10 years old, and I think the boat is maybe close to 60 years old. It's obviously made from a kit set. You can see that because there are various labelled numbered parts. So it is, I think, a fairly generic sort of tugboat of the era. I remember the tugboats looking like that in Wellington Harbour when I was quite young. So I put remote control parts in it several years ago, maybe about 15 years ago, because I had a student who made a fiberglass model boat about this size for his technology project, his Year 12 technology project, and he used some cheap remote control car parts to make his boat work, and so I thought, oh, I'd do the same to this old boat. So when I was a boy, I had put a motor in the boat and a battery pack, and I just used to have wires coming out through sort of an aerial bit like this, and I would put it in the stream that we had at our place, and I would just I couldn't steer it, I just had to pull it around and make the motor go and stop. So now I'm able to use it as a remote control boat with my grandchildren and my nephews and things like that. So the way it's made is from pieces of thick balsa wood. The hull is a piece of balsa wood here. I think it's one big slab through here, and then with a separate section which joins, you can probably just see the join there, and another join at the front. And then other parts like this keel and these side pieces here are made from a thin hard wood, which might be sort of 3-ply something or other, might be basswood or something like that, in the deck, you know, with lines put on it to look like decking planks. So that's all this harder wood. These pieces are really quite nicely shaped and curved, so this rear section joins around here. I've glued these sections in to sort of strengthen it and help to seal it. It does leak a bit onto the deck. I'm not sure exactly where from, but it doesn't really seem to get inside much at all. So on the, I don't know what you call this part, a wheelhouse or something, I don't know. That's all made from that same sort of wood. You can see inside here the numbering of parts, like there's number 4 over here. Up here you can see a G and so on. So this is all made from that same thin hard wood. You can see it's warped a bit here. I've repaired it various times where it's been broken, and I've sort of retouched paint, but I wanted to keep it looking like it did when I was given it. So this is balsa wood that I've put on here, and it's been broken at various stages, and I've repaired it like up here, and I haven't worried too much about making it look beautiful. I just want it to look like the toy of the time. This is, I guess, thin steel, which must have come with the kit set, and these I think are probably cast metal of some sort, so they thread in or push in through these holes. There used to be, I don't even know what you call them because I don't know much about boats really, a couple of sort of beams across here which got broken at some point. So you see this is balsa wood around the sides, and then it's that other thin, possibly plywood. The reason I think it might be plywood is because when I look here, it's kind of delaminated here, and there's three pieces, but what type of wood it is I'm not really sure. So you can see in the bottom, this is the balsa wood slab. You can see the parts I've put in here to make the thing go. These sides are that same wood, and these kind of supports and things. You can see I've patched it up here where it was broken at the front. I've sort of glued and bolted on a piece of aluminium. Made these aluminium brackets to hold things in place, and they're sort of glued and screwed into the hull. So I think it was about a $30 remote control car, something like that, $25–30 maybe. Probably a bit more expensive now. It might be sort of the equivalent of maybe a $60 or $70 remote control car. So not a serious thing, just a toy. And this is the back end of the car. So this is like the drive motor and the differential really, and the two axles come out here. I've had to make this bracket to stop that one from spinning because it's a differential type gearing in here. If you don't stop that one, then this one will not spin when you get some resistance on it. So that one's sort of stopped, and this one attaches to the propeller shaft into the stuffing tube. I think I put some sort of light grease in there, but it doesn't seem to leak. It had rechargeable batteries initially, but they sort of failed eventually, so these are just 6 AAAs in these 2 packs. I'll leave the switches on, and this is the on-off switch that I've put in here to switch the whole thing on and off. So that's off and that's on there. Obviously the circuit board, which I've had to patch up and repair a few times. What else? Oh, so this part here would be the sort of the steering unit. I can't really remember what's inside it. It's not really a servo, I don't think. I think it's a motor and gearbox essentially, and it moves this part forward and backwards. So I've got this linkage that goes on to this rudder here. I think this rudder is a brass rudder. I think I pinched it off another boat somewhere along the line, and this propeller is copper soldered onto a sort of a copper bush and onto the prop shaft. So I think I made that, and I think I've sort of reinforced it with glue, like araldite or something, on top of it because it's not especially strong. Yeah, so I'll show you it sort of working. So this is the very beaten up remote control unit. Obviously all kind of broken, bottom bits missing. So, you know, squeeze the, let me turn the boat on. Bring it forward, in reverse. You can work with your trigger finger, and then just have to hold that up off the deck a little bit. The rudder left and right, and you can, if you fiddle with it, you can get it to centre more or less. So quite good, quite drivable, reasonably fast. So I just use it to, you know, show the grandchildren, play with it, and my nephews a few years ago we took it to the Avalon Park sort of duck pond and played with it there. So lots of fun, and it still is the toy that I remember from my childhood, but just made into what I hoped it would be at the time.